Welcome, everyone. This is Anthony Skinner. We are super excited to be here. I am glad that you were all here, that you made it here. Tonight, we are super excited about what we're going to share with you guys. It's been a while since we've been here, and you know, it's 2022. Can you believe it? It's almost 2 years. Well, it is 2 years actually since COVID. So that's really kind of a strange thing. But we are here. We are super excited about what's happening. And I am just blessed, to say the least, that we've made it through. Those of you here that can hear me, thank God for you. Thank God you made it through. And again, we want to pray for those that are still dealing with COVID. But we want to thank God for a new day. So listen, I'm going to keep this brief and short. It's going to be a really amazing night. We're going to share with you what our progress is, what we've done over the last couple of years, the things I think COVID gave us a chance to sit back and just replan everything, redesign. So there's some good things that have happened. Of course, right now, I want to introduce the man of the hour. Mr. Dwayne Noble. Of course, you guys know he's a man with a big heart and just an amazing guy, knows how to trade, knows how to make some money. And so without further ado, the president of Enfurio, president and founder, Mr. Dwayne Noble. Dwayne, are you there?
I am. Good. First
Awesome.
of all, I got to start off and say good Thursday evening, everyone. Well, good Thursday evening if you're in the U.S. in North America or South America. If you're overseas, it may be middle of the night, it might be early morning, or it might be afternoon for you. But we're glad that you're here, guys. It's about making money, right? Everybody wants to make money. Nobody likes to lose money. The problem a lot of people have, though, is in the process of trying to make money, they lose a lot of money. Because what do a lot of people do? Well, they run to the next money game that promises some high return. And before you know it, you know, that falls apart and there goes their money. Or they get in, they trade, and they trade with high leverage. And when the market turns against them, guess what? They get burnt. They get margin called, and then what's called stopped out, and all the money in their account goes poof, it's gone. So what I really wanted to do was to show people how to manage the risk. You know, trading is not about just trying to get in a trade and hope it goes up. Really, when you're trading risk, and really when you're going through life and you're doing anything, what you're doing is you're managing your risk. You're trading your risk to make a profit. When you learn how to trade risk to make a profit, instead of trying to trade money to make a profit, that's when you really are able to succeed. You know, I always use the analogy, trading is no different than life itself. You know, we all know that, you know, on the way to the grocery store, we could get into a tragic car accident, but it doesn't prevent us from getting in our car and driving to the grocery store. Why? Because we got to eat, right? Just like we got to eat, we got to make money. No, when we get in our car and we drive to the grocery store, we take a calculated risk. What do? We put on our seatbelt, we stop at the stop sign, stop at the stoplights, watch out for other drivers, and we do so in a safe fashion. We don't go to the grocery store after drinking a case of beer and speed 100 miles an hour down the highway and blow through every stop sign and every stoplight. That's not how we do it, right? We take a calculated risk. So just like life is about taking calculated risks, the market is no different. And when you really learn how to trade risk, and guys, we have a unique strategy, a really unique strategy. This strategy you can use to turn cash flow, or you can use to turn cash flow, or you can use to build long-term wealth. And well, the way we trade is much the same way a hedge fund would trade, in a safer fashion, you know. And I should always say, you know, trading comes with a level of risk. You should never invest more than you can afford to lose. I got to give the disclaimer, of course. You know, Enfurio is about trading education, and it's not to be construed as financial advice. So I want to get all that those good things out of the way. But what you're doing is you're really trading this risk to make a profit. We have like I said, really unique strategy, and I lost my train of thought there for a second. But I'm going to show you that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how you can trade stocks immediately with us. Most people don't even realize you probably already have the app on your phone. You probably have an app on your phone that you can trade stocks right now. I even heard the other day that Venmo and PayPal, you can trade stocks through Venmo and PayPal. So you probably have an app on your phone that links to your bank account. You can use the funds in your bank that aren't making any money to go in the market and make yourself some money, or I should say, at least have a high probability of making yourself some money. So we trade. I know what I was going to say. We trade much like a hedge fund would trade. The only difference is in a hedge fund, when they're trading your retirement account, guess what? The hedge fund manager, he's keeping a chunk of your profit. He's taking a huge management fee. And not only that, you're having to split basically your profits with the other participants in the hedge fund. And you say, well, hold on. What do you mean by that? Well, when they take a hedge fund, they have a pool of money. That might be all these retirement accounts. It might be valued at $50 billion, whatever it's valued at. But they don't trade that whole $50 billion in the market. No, they trade a small portion of that. And they generate on that small portion, they may generate 50%, 100%, a few 100% a year. And then they take and they disperse it amongst the whole hedge fund. Why do they only trade a percentage of that? Because they keep the other in reserve. If the market goes down and it crashes and it goes against them, they have to be able to buy in at those levels and really manage their risk, right? So when they're trading a hedge fund on that $50 billion account, they may only trade 5, 10, 20% of that at most. The rest is kept in reserve, and they're generating profit on that 5, 10, 15, 20%, whatever it is, but they're dispersing it out amongst everybody. So when you take control, you're able to take and not have to share that money with all the other participants, not have to worry about that hedge fund manager taking a huge piece of your profit. And so we're going to share with you how we really trade. I'm going to give you guys a free stock as well. So let's go ahead and let's begin. I want to share with you guys our results trading. Let me go ahead and see if I can share. I'm going to share this tablet with you. Excuse me. Let me share if I can go ahead and see if I can share this screen. All right. Can you guys see my screen? Got a lot.
Yes, we can see your rainbow ponies.
Got a lot of kids games on my tablet. My kids use my tablet. My little girl and my little boy are so busy playing games, but I also have Cash App on here as well. So I want to go ahead and open up this Cash App account. Okay. Now, the account I'm going to show you guys, you can trade with Cash App, but I want to let you guys know, if you're an experienced trader, sometimes people will laugh at me. Experienced traders are going to laugh at me because I'm showing on Cash App. Guys, the reason I show on Cash App is because for a newbie, for somebody that's beginning, it's easy for them. They can get it. They can instantly trade stocks. They don't have to jump through the hoops of setting a TD Ameritrade account up and sending money into their broker and doing all those things. Yes, if you're an experienced trader, you can use our strategy. You can trade with TD Ameritrade. And maybe you're a newbie and you want to advance to there. You want to get the Thinkorswim platform and all those bells and whistles. You can do that. But the reason I show on Cash App is because if people want to get involved and they have to jump through a bunch of hoops, sometimes that's a deterrent. We want to show people how they can immediately, right now, take advantage of the money in their bank and be able to trade stocks using our strategy. So if you're in the US, you probably have Cash App. If you're outside the US, there's other applications. You just got to Google them. Google an application that you can trade stocks. When you trade stocks, there is no broker fee. It's all basically built in the spread. So you don't have a fee for buying and selling. It's a beautiful thing. So I'm going to show you guys Cash App. A lot of you guys have Cash App. If you're on the Zoom, how many of you guys have Cash App? Put a yes in the box. If you don't, put a no in the box if you're on the Zoom. Put a Y for yes, put an N for no if you have Cash App. Now let me ask you, did you know that you could trade stocks on Cash App? How many of you guys knew that you could trade stocks on Cash App? Probably not very many people, right? Well, I'm going to show you how. Now, if you see down here in the corner of the screen, you see this bank down here in the lower left-hand corner. The bank is where you enter in your account details. You can put in your bank, you can put in a debit card or credit card, and it'll link it together with your Cash App. I'm not going to click there because I want you to see, oh, I don't want to share all my personal details. But see this squiggly line right here. Let me see if I can draw on, nope, I can't annotate. See this squiggly line, or see the stock line? You see the dollar symbol in the middle at the bottom, and then you see the up arrow by it. Looks kind of like a market up arrow. Well, that's your stocks. That's how you trade stocks. It's really, really simple. Now, I'm going to show you the account that we're trading. And of course, when we're trading stocks, you're always going to be down a little bit when you're in the stock, and then it goes in your favor and you close out for profit. So I want you to know that's normal. When you see that's minus 25, down 4.3%. Yeah, because when you enter in a trade, a lot of times it'll go against you a little bit before it goes in your favor. But I'm going to show you the record of what we've done really just in the past week, and it's going to blow your mind. First thing I want to show you, though, is how easy it is to trade stocks. Guys, when you get a membership with Enfurio, you go into our Discord. We have a Discord channel. It is only for paid members. You get your buys and you get your sells in there. People go, well, does this take a lot of time? I don't have a lot of time to spare. Guys, this takes less than 30 seconds a day. We're in 5 stocks at any given time. So if we give a buy symbol or a sell symbol, let's say one of our buys was Google, for instance. I could go in the search bar, I could type in Google, boom, it comes up. Google's parent company is Alphabet. And if I want to buy that stock, if you see, hey, buy, using our risk management strategy, if you're following along, you could hit buy and you can hit the amount. You could hit as little as $1, you could hit $100, you could put in $10,000 if you wanted, but you put the amount in. It's really that simple. So let's say I wanted to buy $100 of Google. I'd hit next. It asks for my PIN code. I'd put my PIN code in and I'd confirm the sell or confirm the buy. If I want to sell Google, I just happen to own some of this right now. I'd hit the sell button. I could hit all, next, boom, put in the PIN, sell. Guys, literally less than a minute a day. We put the buys out usually once a day, all at the same time. We put the sells out. Usually the sells are in the morning. The buys are right before market close is when we'll put the buys out. And if you're following along, you just go in there and hit the buy button, hit the sell button. I mean, it literally takes, guys, I'm serious. When I say it literally takes less than a minute, it literally takes less than a minute. And the market is open, of course, Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. The stock market is open from 8:30 a.m. Central Time, which is 9:30 a.m. Eastern, and it's open till 3 p.m. Central or 4 p.m. Eastern. Those are the hours that the stock market is open Monday through Friday, excluding holidays. So this is really simple to do, but I want to share with you the results. Guys, I've been trading stocks, and in the past, I can't even remember the last time I've lost on a trade. I mean, it's in stocks. To be honest with you, I've never lost on a trade in stocks. Well, maybe when I was younger, yes. But the reason I don't lose is because how I manage my risk. It's about managing risk. And the reason I'm showing you on the tablet is because it's my wife's account. Why am I showing you on my wife's account? Because average people can relate. average people can relate. And that's a big thing. I didn't want to start out with a huge account. I didn't want to start out with a $10,000, $100,000, $500,000 account, because then people would say, oh my gosh, I don't have enough money to do this. No, you have enough money. You could start with as little of an amount as you want. So I'm showing you on a $1,000 account right now. And out of that $1,000 account, we are utilizing, out of that $1,000 account, we're utilizing $600 of it currently, okay? $600 of it currently. So let's go into the trades and let's take a look at the records. Let me click not now. Okay, so let's take a look at our records of trades that we have done here in the past week. And you know, this is all verifiable data, all verifiable track record. And let me go back here. Okay, so this is the first trade that we bought. It was Matterport. We bought it for $100. If we look at the details on Matterport, we look at the details. Hold on, let me see where I find the details. Right here. Okay, so we bought it on February 7th. On February 8th, we sold it for 101.73. We made 1.73% on that particular trade. Let me go on to the next. This was 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗘. If you look at 𝗧𝗥𝗨𝗘, we bought one day for 100. The next day we sold for $107.18. We made 7.18% on that trade. And by the way, when you hear me talk about what we're making, I'm not one of these guys that inflates numbers. You know, a lot of companies will inflate, we made so much percent. No, you made that percent on that particular trade. What did you earn on the entire balance as a whole? Because when you're managing your risk, what you make on just one trade has to be worked back into your entire balance, much like the hedge fund. What they make on their trades, it's got to be worked back into the entire balance for everybody, right? This is no different. So last week, guys, we did 3.6% on our entire balance. If we look, we see Alibaba here. We can see that we bought it for $100 one day. We sold for 105.16 the next, 5.16%. Pretty easy to see. Block, we bought Block, $100, sold for $108.10. We made 8.1%. And if you go back through these trades, you're going to see Alphabet, we're still in the trade. Okay, we're still in Google. We're still in Google. That's what Alphabet is. Let's look for a trade that we're not in. Alibaba. I showed that one already. Let's look at Karyopharm Therapeutics. If we look here, we bought the stock on this. This is a $1,000 account. Now, if your account's bigger, of course, your buy is going to be much, much bigger because we have a risk management strategy that we share with people. But if you see this stock, we bought $100, sold for $107.76, made 7.76% on that particular stock. Here's one for SelectQuote. They're an insurance company. We bought for 100, sold for 102.20. We made 2.2% on that. Here's one for Meta. Meta is Facebook, of course. We bought Facebook, made 2.44% on that one. And so what that means when I say 2.44%, I think most people know, but we might have some newer people. On $100, I'd make $2.44. On $1,000, I would make $20. On $10,000, I would make $200. So that gives you an idea on the trade. And everybody's account size is, of course, going to vary. It's going to be a slightly different. We showed Block. Some of these, here's CVS. CVS, we bought for $100, sold for 101.18. We made 1.18% on that. We turned. AbbVie, this is one that we just did yesterday. Bought for 100, sold for 101.94. We made 1.94% on that particular trade. Now, I am going to give you a trade that I believe has a lot of upside. Remember, I told you I'd give you a free trade, and we're going to talk about building long-term wealth. But let's look at New Relic here. New Relic, this is the trade I'm going to give you guys, okay? We're cost average. If a trade goes against us, we buy more. We just bought more of this trade. And I told people in our group, I said, this trade could come down a little bit further, but it could go up any time. So let's go ahead and scale in with a little bit more volume now. And that was yesterday. I said, look, this could still fall 6-7%, but we're not sure if it will. So let's go ahead and get it in. If it does come down, we can always buy more down there. But I'm looking at the chart, guys. And if you notice, this has made this loop right here. See this loop, this dome shape that's coming back down to the lows. This one right here, when it goes up, it looks like it has some pretty good upside to it. If you notice, this where it is now is all the way down at this peak. It's coming back and hitting this correction. So that's about $65 to $67, this particular peak right here that we're looking at. These two peaks, I'm looking at them all as one. But if we look at the price, it's about $66 right now. This is in a really good buying territory. It looks good for some good upside. And this is the free stock that I'm going to give you guys tonight. Now, could this still come down here to $57 possibly? Possibly it could. You know, we can't fully 100% predict the market. We know a high probability of what it'll do, but the fact is we manage our risk and we plan for the unpredictable. And the reason we plan for the unpredictable is so that we can have a good chance of winning in the aggregate, so that we can have a good chance of winning in the end. But right now, guys, this is tapping the support level, this peak over here. This looks like a good trade. This trade would be what's called oversold. When something's oversold, it's a good buy. When something's overbought, it's a good sell. This is oversold right now. You can see that drop. You can see it's coming down to the peak. This is the free trade I want to give you. Also in Cash App, what I really like is it tells you the news. And if you look, there's financial news that just came out on this particular stock. New Relic launches its new infrastructure monitoring experience. So I love Cash App for that reason too, because you can go to any trades, and it's going to tell you the latest news out. I could go right here. We could see if there's any news out on this particular trade. There may not be on that trade, but I could type in Google again. Google right here. I can go down. It's going to tell me the latest news for Google. It tells me all the Google. Now Google always has a lot of news on it, so you can see all these articles as well. But guys, for somebody that's, if you're looking at this and you're saying, man, I've never traded stocks, is this easy to do? Guys, this is easy to do. You have the power in your hand. You just got to use it. You've got it in your phone. It's so easy to download Cash App if you don't have it already. If you already have it, more power to you. And it's easy to start trading stocks. And like I said, if you're in another country, they've got services, other services, depending on the country you're in. You'll have to Google it, but I'm sure there's a service you can download, and you can take and use it to trade stocks with the money that's in your bank. And so what we do is we teach how to build long-term wealth. Let me go ahead and stop my screen sharing here. If I can figure out where the button is, stop, okay. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about really the potential you have, because a lot of people will say, yeah, but Dwayne, I need to make more than just a few bucks here, a few bucks there. Guys, I don't think you realize, but a few bucks adds up really, really, really quickly. It really does. You know, you make 100%, you make 1% 100 times on your money, you've doubled your money, right? You make 2% 50 times, you've doubled your money. 3% 30 times, you've doubled your money. So the little amounts add up a lot quicker than what you realize. And if you have your money in a bank, You're lucky if it's getting 0.001%. Seriously, go look. They're paying like 10 cents on every $1,000. That's about what a bank is paying right now. It's pathetic. Even a CDs, you may have your money in a CD. You might get a good CD. It's paying 2 or 3% a year. So they may pay $20, $30 on every $1,000 you have in the CD, but that's per year. So you know, what we teach people is really how to take a hold of their finances, how to manage their risk to generate profit. Now, that being said, I'm going to tell you right now, what you've been told your entire life, people have been taught their entire life, throw it out the window. People have been taught their entire life that you've got to work hard your entire life. You got to work for 40 years and save up for retirement. Guys, what if I told you that that is absolutely a bunch of bullshit? That's what they want you to think, because they don't share the powers that be, and the upper echelon of society doesn't share with people how to, what I call, crack the code. That's what I'm sharing with you guys, is how to crack the code. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So you've seen how we share, how we trade stocks, guys. We made 3.6% last week. This week's a slower week. We're up about 0.2% so far this week. We only take what the market gives. Sometimes it gives a lot, and sometimes it gives a little, but we're not greedy. We play off of other people's greed. That's why we dominate. I use something called the power of one. What's the power of one? Well, when I learned how to trade, I taught myself, I realized the significance of numbers. And I went back and I started reading the religious text. For me, it's the Bible, but any religious text, guys, numbers have meaning. And I realized that one had a lot of meaning. I realized that one really represents God. It represents your relationship with God, because all you really ever need is one, right? No matter what religion you're in, all you need is one. Think about this though. In the market, man, if all he would be satisfied is taking that one, he could live an abundant life. But man, being man, what do? We let greed get in the way. When we have one, guess what? We want two. And when we have two, we want four. And when we have four, we want eight. And when we have eight, we want 16. Man's appetite for greed is never ending. It's never satisfied. So what we look to do in the markets is get literally just 1%. 1%. And once we're up 1%, we close it out. We do it all over again. We apply this unique risk management strategy that we have. Now, I'm going to tell you, oftentimes when all you're looking for is one, all that you need, guess what? The powers that be are much more abundant. They're much more abundant. And a lot of times you may get 2 or 3. You may get 10 or 20 even. You may get a lot more. Why? Because you realize, and you're satisfied, and you realize that all you really ever need is one. So how can you really take control of what you've been taught your entire life? You work hard and put your money in retirement. Your entire life, 40 years, you got to work, slave away. Guys, did you know that if you took $1,000, 1,000, okay? I'm not talking about mega vuku dollars. Yes, thousands a lot of money, but it's attainable for a lot of people, right? If somebody wants to put their nose to the grindstone, they get $1,000. Most people have $1,000. If they don't, and they're determined, they can get $1,000. You take $1,000, and if you were to add to it just $200 a month, every single month for 10 years, okay? So I want you to get this in your mind. Take $1,000, put this in the initial bit, the initial balance, $1,000. okay? And you add to it $200 a month, monthly, every month for 10 years, okay? And along the way, you traded that. So you traded at stocks and you used the unique risk management strategy, and you were to earn just 1.4% a week. Guys, that's about 0.2% a day on average. Now understand, there's days we don't do anything. There's days that we do a lot. But if you were just to average out 0.2% a day, okay, 1.4% a week, and you were to compound that over 10 years, okay? So I'm going to paint this picture for you one more time. Compounding interval, we're going to go weekly, okay? Because you're compounding it weekly. You're trading along the way and you're compounding it weekly. So you start out with 1,000, you add 200 a month every month for 10 years. And along the way, you make just 1.4% weekly compounded. Did you know that at the end of 10 years, you'd have over $5 million? You'd have over almost $6 million. It's pretty crazy, right? How many of you guys have $6 million in your trading account right now, and you've been working a lot longer than 10 years? You see, I want to offer you guys something that nobody else has. I figured out how to crack the code. It took me a lot of time. It took me a lot of money. It took me a lot of effort. But I had to teach myself. And I feel like, for those of you who know me personally, to me, it's really about leaving a legacy. And if I can really help impact a lot more lives along the way, then I've left the world a better place. Then I leave the world a better place whenever my time is up. And that's what Enfurio is about. Enfurio is about helping people live comfortably, helping teach them how to crack the code. Enfurio is about lighting a fire and fanning your flame. Our motto is light a fire, fan your flame. You saw that in that video that we played at our intro video. What's it mean? It means that in order to succeed, you first must light a fire in your own life. But once that flame is lit, you can take and fan that to others around you, and you can change the world for better. One thing I want to let people know too, though, is on the stock trading, because a lot of people say, well, is it day trading? I hear that's risky and whatnot. Guys, this isn't risky options trading. When you hear people talk about day trading, it's usually options trading where they're trading with very high leverage and take huge risk. In fact, I believe that, go ahead and stop sharing your screen there.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to right now.
I believe that our strategy is the safest form of trading. Here's the reason why. Because you really have three choices for your money, okay? 4 if you include ours. The first choice is to do risky day trading, options trading with high leverage, and have the chance that you get a margin call and stopped out, and when that happens, your account's wiped out. The second choice that you have is to trade in a retirement account, long-term trade. I heard holding is the best strategy. I hear that all the time, right? Guys, holding is probably the second best strategy in my opinion. And here's the reason why. I've seen so many people that have invested in retirement accounts that have held long-term. And then something happens in the market. Shit happens with the company. Shit happens with the market sector. Technology evolves, and then you see people that have invested their savings, and they've been investing long-term with companies like MCI, WorldCom, Sears, Kmart, Montgomery Ward, Blockbuster. I mean, the list, Enron, the list goes on and on and on. Yeah, they're in the green, but they don't get out, and it comes back down, and before you know it, their account, what they saved all their life for, is wiped out. What we do is we limit our exposure, and we're doing it with equities trading with no high risk leverage. When we trade stocks, this is on the buy and sell side. We're buying the equity, we're selling it. If it goes against us, so be it. We'll buy more on down the way. We buy on the way down. If it completely goes against us, the worst thing is we still have our stock, right? We still have our stock that we have. In the day trading formula, they lose their account when they're stopped out and when they get a margin call. And so your third option is to put it in the bank. And when you put it in the bank, we all know what happens. People go, oh, but banks are insured. Guys, are banks insured against inflation? Is a bank going to protect you against inflation? You see, if you have your money in a bank, you're gonna end up getting ate up by inflation. Guys, this past week, inflation is at an all-time 40-year high. So even if you leave it in the bank's not insuring you against inflation. So those are really your three choices. Use high risk leverage options trading. Use long-term trading, where if something happens to the company and goes belly up, there goes your money. Or put your money in a bank and get ate up by inflation. Now you tell me which of those options you want to take. You see, there's risk with everything. What we have with Enfurio is something special. We have a unique money management, risk management strategy that we teach our members. We give our members our formula, but that's our secret formula. Only.
There he is. Go mute yourself.
Sorry, guys, my internet went out for a second. So
that's inflation.
It is. I need to pay my bill. No, we've had ice storms and winter storms here. So to get that secret formula, to get involved with Enfurio, go to Enfurio, ENFURIO.com. And I just want to show this one more time, and then I'm going to go ahead and open it up for questions. Let me share my screen here. You're going to go to Enfurio, E-N, starts with an E, not an I.
Put it in the chat.
ENFURIO.com. And when you get to Enfurio.com, my internet's running really slow right now. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the subscribe tab, and you can go ahead, you can pay. You'll get immediate access to our Discord group. It's $120 a quarter every 3 months, or $400 annually. That's tax and everything, which I think is pretty dang reasonable.